You're listening to the Mastering Money in Midlife podcast with Debbie Sasson, episode 71.
Welcome to Mastering Money in Midlife, a podcast for midlife women in business to overcome financial anxiety and make more money without burning out or sacrificing their families. Join certified life and money coach Debbie Sasson as she shares practical business strategies and mindset shifts that help you dissolve the money blocks that keep you stuck in a cycle of under-earning and under-saving, sabotage the growth of your business, and prevent you from building the wealth that you desire.
Well, hello, my friends, and welcome back to the podcast. I have a very fun episode for you today. We will be speaking all about overcoming underselling. And here's what I want you to know about underselling. Underselling meaning not going out into the world, sharing your genius and sharing your gifts, sharing the transformations or solutions, the problem solving that you can do for your clients, keeping it quiet and not selling it or sharing it enough, and combined with not charging high enough fees or prices that reflect the lifetime value of what you're offering your clients, that is going to create under-earning. Let me just give you the simple equation. Underselling plus undercharging equals under-earning. And this is a problem for women, that when we look at the data, what women earn versus what men earn, it is very clear that there is a gender wage gap. We earn less than men for the same jobs, for the same results that we offer our clients. We show up and nobody does exactly the same thing, but we give results to our clients as entrepreneurs, and women still consistently make less than men. And one big reason is underselling. And that is why today on the podcast, we're going to talk about overcoming underselling and getting out of the underselling cycle. I'm going to walk you through exactly what that is, the underselling cycle, and then share with you what the overselling cycle is. And I know for some people, overselling sounds like really aggressive and being out there and being like a used car salesman. But we're going to break it down today on the podcast so that you can really rethink the way you think about selling. And the podcast episode today comes on the heels of Money School. Today, actually, I gave this exact training, Overcoming Underselling, but it was a much longer form training. It lasted even over an hour. And I am going to put the link in the show notes so that if you wanted to go and watch the entire Overcoming Underselling training from my YouTube channel, you will be able to do that. Second thing, before we jump into today's podcast episode, I want to remind you that Wired for Wealth, my signature 9-month coaching program, is now open for enrollment. This is the program where we do 4 things in order to create for you more money in your business. We create your signature offer. The one thing, maybe 2 things, we don't want to create complicated businesses, but primarily the one thing that you sell in your business, that's why you need to overcome underselling. That one, I'll even call it your gift, your brilliance that you bring to the world. And we want to spend the next 9 months together selling your offer and figuring out how to get you more sales and how you can reach more clients and share with them your genius and your brilliance and all the goodness and juiciness and deliciousness you have to offer the world. So we come together, we start on May 1st, but applications to Wired for Wealth close on Thursday, March 23rd. So make sure that you get to my website, debbiesasson.com/wired-for-wealth in order to fill out the application and apply. And again, I'll put the link in the show notes because we want you out there and serving your people and making more money. It is a $6,000 investment plus VAT for residents of Israel. And my guarantee to you is that you're going to make your money back in 9 months. But even more than that, my goal for you is not that you invest $6,000 and make $6,000 back. My real goal for you is that you invest $6,000 and make $30,000, or you make $50,000 and even possibly scale your business to $100,000. My client, Devi Mandel, who worked with me in the first cohort of Wired for Wealth, that is exactly what she did. She invested $5,000 because that was the price then, and she grew her business to a $100,000 business. And I know that that is available for you too. So put the podcast on pause and go to my website, debbiesasson.com/wired-for-wealth and fill out your application. And I look forward to seeing you in Jerusalem on May 1st. There are virtual and in-person options available to our one-day live event. All right, my friends, let us jump into today's episode, Overcoming Underselling. I want to start by giving you just a little bit of background around me and selling. And I know that I've talked about this on the podcast before, but I was really that kid with a lemonade stand. I always loved to sell from a very young age. I sold lemonade, I sold Girl Scout cookies, coffee and donuts to cars that were lining up to fill their tanks early in the morning during the oil crisis of 1974. Yes, I am that old. I sold electronics when I was a teenager. I worked in my cousin's camera store. I sold VCRs and all the early computers and Atari games and things like that. If anybody even remembers, those of you listening in, I know we're all midlife here, even though I know I have some listeners in their 20s. And then when I moved to Wall Street, I sold derivative products. When I worked in electronics, I was selling multiple $100 products. And when I grew up and went to Wall Street, I was selling multi-million-dollar products. I actually didn't even realize it until recently when I was thinking about my career history. I loved selling. To me, it seemed like the most natural thing in the world. But when I opened my business for myself, selling took on a completely different vibe. All of a sudden, rather than showing up for someone else, I mean, little kids, they sell lemonade and it just is a lot of fun because you put the card table in front of your house and the cars passing by stop by. They think you're really adorable and sweet and they give you their 10 cents or their 25 cents or whatever it is because they just really want to support you as a young entrepreneur. But everything that I did until I opened my own business was always representing somebody else's business. And when I opened my own business, selling was much, let's say, scarier than it had been when I was working for somebody else. All of a sudden, we energetically connect the thing that we're selling with our self-worth. And then all of a sudden, there are these very wonky vibes around selling. And if we're going to go out and sell, and when we talk about the overselling cycle versus the underselling cycle, right? When we go out and we even think about overselling and talking and selling, and maybe it's like too pushy. Maybe you're too braggy. Maybe you're too aggressive. And girls, of course, women can be assertive, but not aggressive. There are all these societal, quote unquote, standards about how women are supposed to show up. And we can't be too bossy and we can't be too this and that. And these are societal messages and conditioning that we have received from our childhood. And these have also been downloaded into our subconscious mind and into our nervous system for generations. That men are supposed to be the more dominant, aggressive sex, and women are supposed to be the more quiet, demure side. And so all of a sudden, we have to go out and share our goodies with the world and show up and take up space. And it is uncomfortable as a woman. For many of us, even though we've been told that we can do it, right, we still have this wiring in our nervous system that has been there for thousands and thousands of years. And so it is natural for so many women not to show up big, not to take up a lot of space, and to feel uncomfortable. I've had people tell me they don't want to do the marketing for their business. They want to do the thing that they do, whether it's coaching or photography, copywriting, but they don't want to have to go out and do the marketing and sales. It just feels uncomfortable rather than feeling like the natural, most common way of talking about that beautiful heart-centered thing that you do. So we really do need to talk about how you as an entrepreneur who is bringing her amazing genius to the world can get out there and stop underselling and start overselling. I want to share with you that in 2018, I had already been working in my business for 10 years. There were times, because I'm a mom of a large family, that I had to take time off from my business. There were some years where I had kids in therapy. They needed more time at home and all sorts of other stuff that happens normally in a family. And when it's a large family, it can happen even more regularly, that there are just life happens kind of things, all good. But my business was like simmering for many of those 10 years. I just kept it really, really quiet. But I think it was about 2017, 16 that I started to like turn up the fire, and I was really ready. My kids were older. I was really ready to jump back into my business and really put my foot on the gas pedal and accelerate and move forward fast. But I got stuck. I plateaued my income at $40,000. That was in 2018. And for the life of me, I couldn't figure out how to get beyond the $40,000 income level. And I was feeling really frustrated, and I was feeling like a loser, and like there must be something wrong with me that I can't figure it out. And so in 2019, I decided, for several reasons, also what was going on in my financial planning business and the money triggers that I was seeing from my clients and some other personal stuff going on, I realized that it was time for me to work on my money blocks. And it was the mindset, the things that I was thinking about money, and the wiring in my body about what was possible for me that really brought up a lot of the negative wiring in my subconscious mind and in my nervous system around money that were blocking me from really showing up and believing that it was possible for me to have a multiple six-figure business. I did a visualization at the time with my coach, and we were raising my energetic income ceiling, and we got to $600,000. And I could see myself in this visualization, like pushing back piles of money, like rejecting money, resisting it. I wasn't allowing this amount of money to come to me. And now I talk very casually and openly about having $1 million income goal for my business and even a $10 million income goal for my business. I'm no longer rejecting it or pushing it away. It just seems like the most natural thing. But back then, it was only 4 years ago, I wasn't allowing myself to be a receiver of money. I was blocked. So for 2 months, I did really, really intense work with my coach around money and mindset and the money healing work that I also do. And I continued to do that for the entire year of 2019 and even a little bit into 2020. And then a couple months later, I started focusing on selling. Now that I was really clearing my blocks and opening myself up to receiving more and being more visible and bold as an entrepreneur, I wanted to really show up and master selling my business, my genius as the entrepreneur that I really knew that I could be and wanted to be. In fact, my husband at one point had told me, he said, "Debbie, you've worked so hard. You're trying so hard. You're trying so many things. And you know, I've written a book, The 1K Investor, and I had been doing webinars and I had been doing workshops, live talks. I had been doing networking and showing up. Like I really was doing so many things. I launched a group program called Smart Women Build Wealth in 2017. Like I was hustling in my business, and it was so hard for me to move the needle and make more sales. So I knew that there was also something around selling because I had loved selling when I was younger. And even on Wall Street, when I was showing up selling multi-million-dollar derivatives, I didn't have any wonky energy around selling. So I knew that it had to be something around entrepreneurship that wasn't working for me. And so that was my next goal of 2019, was mastering the sales process as a female entrepreneur. And that's why I want to share with you what happens when you are in an underselling cycle, because you do have dreams and genius and amazing things that you can offer your clients when you get out of your own way. So here are signs of an underselling cycle, and you can take a piece of paper and a pen and write down which one of these or how many of these signs of an underselling cycle are characterized by the way you're showing up in the world. So the first one, and we've talked about this on the podcast numerous times, is not setting an income goal. And I have to admit that I wasn't setting income goals back in the day. I was really just chasing after clients, doing all the things, the workshops and the books and the webinars. I was doing Zoom webinars before Zoom was popular. Like I was doing all the things, but it was just to have this goal of getting clients. I just wanted to get clients, do whatever I could do to get clients, but I wasn't setting an income goal for my business. And then in 2019, I decided that my goal on paper, it has to be on paper. And even now I have to tell you that on my phone, the password for my phone is also my income goal, so that I'm constantly reinforcing in my mind my next income goal for my business. But that wasn't even on the agenda. I have a little sticky note on my computer monitor, and I told you I have my password on my phone. It is very clear what my income goal is now for my business. And if you're not setting an income goal for your business, your brain doesn't know what it's supposed to do every day. We need to put coordinates into our navigator. It's like your Google Maps or your Waze. You have to tell your car where to go. You have to tell your brain and your business where you want it to go so we can figure out the best route to get you to where you want to go. So if you're not setting an income goal, that is the number one sign of an underselling cycle. The next sign is that you're not making enough offers. And again, we as women do not want to be braggy, boastful, take up a lot of space, talk about what we do. We are worried that people are going to judge us, criticize us, tell us that we don't shut up and, we talk too much about the thing that we do. And so we're shy. We hold back. We don't show up all the time talking about what we do. And I did some research before I created the training on underselling, and I wanted to know how much it cost for big companies last month during the Super Bowl to advertise for a 30-second commercial during the Super Bowl. It cost $7 million. In order to spend $7 million on a 30-second ad, and we're not even talking about the production company that produced the ad, right? That was another investment for these companies. We're talking about big companies, big businesses, brand names that you and I know and love already. I mean, I imagine all of the sports shoes like Nikes and Adidas and probably all the car companies and the Coca-Colas and the Pepsis. All of those well-known household names were paying $7 million for a 30-second clip during the commercials for the Super Bowl because they knew how important it is for your clients and customers to continually be seeing you and what you have to offer. And we as small business owners also need to remember that our clients need to keep seeing us in their feeds. If you're on social media, they need to keep seeing you in their email, in their inboxes. And if they don't have time to read your emails today, they'll just delete it. They'll come back to it in a week from now, whatever it is. But it's your responsibility as a business owner to keep reminding your people that you exist and you have something beautiful to offer. If somebody doesn't want to see your offer anymore, they'll unsubscribe from your list. They'll unfriend you on social media. If you're running a webinar, they won't come. They won't listen to your podcast. They will just opt out because we're all adults. This is all a consensual relationship. And if we don't want to be in that relationship anymore, we're just going to opt out. And that's beautiful and that's fine. But for your ideal customers, keep showing up and making offers because it reminds your people that you're in business and you have something to give them and share with them and you know how to help them. Number 3, even if you are a newer business owner and your audience is small, do not discount the value of a small audience. Keep showing up for those people. One of my clients in the current cohort of Wired for Wealth, her name is Ashira. She's a voice coach, and she came out with a brand new offer in January this year. And she started showing up, and in January, she signed her first client, and in February, she signed 9 clients because her small audience, she doesn't even have an email list yet, as far as I know, but her small audience is so connected with her, and she went into the world and she gave them beautiful opportunities through her lead generation to connect with her, and her people said yes immediately because she didn't hold back. So even if you have 20 people on your email list, show up for those 20 people. Even if you have just a handful of people who are following on social media or a handful of people who look at your WhatsApp status, whatever it is, show up. Don't discount the numbers because it doesn't take a huge audience to create a thriving business. And you can continue going out and networking and meeting more people, because if there are 2 people who are buying from you, even if there's 1 person, there will be a second and a fourth and a 10th and a 25th. Keep showing up for your people. Number 4, underselling is characterized by you feeling pushy or sleazy or manipulative or any sort of negative energy around sales when you show up on a sales call. And we want to get you out of any energy that is like even smells of you trying to convince someone to buy what you need. And I know that you're not going to try to convince someone and be pushy on purpose. Sometimes your fear of not showing up as pushy will end up putting you a little bit in pushy energy or convincing energy on a sales call. But we want to always remember that you're showing up for the client. They're coming to the sales call because they want to be there. Nobody forced them to put 60 minutes in their calendar in order to be on that sales call with you. Again, this is a consensual adult relationship, and you can open your heart and connect with their heart and never be pushy on a sales call because we're just showing up for them, not for us. God is taking care of us. God is giving us our salary, everything we need, our income. We are well taken care of. We just want to make sure that the person on the other line, that the person on the other side of the sales call is getting exactly what they need in that moment in a beautiful, supportive way. The next indicator of an underselling cycle is that you keep your prices low to serve more people. And I know that so many of us have been educated that we should help everybody, that we should really be supportive and spreading the word to everybody. And here's what I want you to know. When you're helping everybody and you're keeping your prices low, it will often result in you not having sufficient income or you overworking and not having sufficient time to take care of yourself, and you're going to get to burnout. We want to protect you and your energy so that you can continue serving for more and more and more years in your business. So as your calendar gets fully booked and you have even people waiting for you, that is a sign that it's time for you to increase your prices. And we've actually talked about this on the podcast before. Your price is one of those filters that you use to select your ideal clients. And when you raise your prices from, let's say, $100 an hour to $200 or $200 or $400 an hour, whatever it is, or however you're serving people in 3-month contracts or 6-month contracts, when you raise your prices, it's understandable that some people will not be able to pay your prices and some people will pay your prices. And some people will opt out and they'll go somewhere else. And I think that that's great because we continue to give business to other people, other business owners, practitioners, coaches, copywriters, in the world. Other people get business as well so they can continue growing. And we just keep showing up for our ideal customers. I even think it's a responsibility of older, more experienced business owners to raise their prices so that the new folks, the younger people coming in, will also have opportunities to grow their business. Number you know me by now. I always forget my numbers. I don't remember which number this is. But the next sign of the underselling cycle is you just believing that nobody will pay, especially in early 2023. If that is when you're listening to the podcast, we are in the middle of a global recession. And if you're believing that nobody will pay, or if you're thinking everybody's struggling right now, nobody has money, I want you to check your thoughts at the door, kind of like checking your hat and your coat at the door, right? We don't want to take that with us into our business because the global recession means that some people don't have money and some people do have money. Some people still have money. Some people have savings. Some people still have jobs. Some people have savings accounts and some people have investments. Like there are people in the world who have money, and you just keep showing up for the people that have money to pay you today and trust that the people who need you and want you and desire working with you, they will find you and they will pay you money. Don't let any sneaky thoughts of nobody has money to pay right now. Just wipe all of those sneaky thoughts away because the truth of the matter is that there are people in the world who are still spending money. The last point is if you feel any doubt or inadequacy about charging high prices, and this is especially for the clients that I work with, I want them in the beginning, in particular of their business, to charge a high ticket offer, something with high value, transformational. It should be a high ticket item, and high ticket is relative. But I don't want you trying to build a business, especially as a newbie, selling a $57 product or $97 product, because even a $97 product means that you need to find lots and lots and lots and lots of people to buy your offer in order to generate a livable income for you. So I much rather, especially in the beginning of your business, that you start by selling higher ticket, higher transformational, higher value offers with higher prices. And if you feel any energy that's a little bit wonky around that, we need to do some nervous system healing work so that you can feel aligned with your price and know that it is reflecting a lot of value and transformation that your clients are receiving when they work with you. Those are the 7 points. I think if I counted them right, yep, I think I did this time. Those are the 7 signs of an underselling cycle. And when you are in this underselling cycle, you are frustrated about your business. And that is exactly where I was. I was frustrated. And really, I had these looping thoughts in my brain that I was a loser. And it was really taking up a lot of valuable brain space. I was like spinning out in this very low place about my business that I couldn't figure out. I couldn't crack the nut how to get above $40,000 in income. And then you waste your days because you're just wondering, like, why does it look like everybody else out there in the world has figured out how to grow their businesses and they're showing up with all their fancy pictures on the internet, and it looks like they've got something and they figured it out, and you're just feeling so bad about yourself. And then what happens is you'll waste your day. You could be watching Netflix, or you're spending your time cooking in the kitchen and doing things, which is a great thing to do. Of course, we should all keep our houses maintained and cleaned. Or you go and you buy a low price, quote unquote, solution to your problems. Like you think that there is a magic pill or silver bullet out there. And so the next person who pops into your, Facebook ads selling some $97 product that is guaranteed to change your business and your life, like you just click on that and buy it. And you're so hopeful that this is going to be the thing that is going to solve all of your issues. But when that's happening, you're taking yourself out of your business. You're believing that there's something wrong with you when really there's nothing wrong with you. You are worthy. You are deserving. You have your genius to share with the world. The only thing that you really need to do is get out there and let more people know about what it is that you have to offer. And don't get sucked into $37 solutions to your problem because they're not going to work. And then you're going to go looking for the next one and the next one and the next one, and you waste so much time. When you learn how to sell and when you get yourself into an overselling cycle, things change for you dramatically. You have confidence in you as a business owner. You do feel more worthy. It's hard to completely detach the success or the lack thereof of your business with your own personal self-worth. It is a constant area for personal growth, not believing that what's going on in your business has any reflection on you as a person. But you are 100% worthy. You were created in the image of God, and nothing that you can say or do will ever take that away. And when you learn how to sell, you get out of your head and you just show up in service of your clients, and you're connected with them, with their humanity, with their being created in the image of God. And you keep your mind out of their wallets and how much you believe that they can pay you. And you just show up to serve them. And you're calm and you just feel solid and grounded. And you make more sales because your energy is just so peaceful and relaxed. And it just goes so much more smoothly. And then you're in the position where you, as a business owner, you are really in your best CEO energy, leading your business for long-term growth. You're making profits and you just, you have the sales and the profits and everything is really going right for you and your business. And so there are two main things around this sales process that I work on with my clients. And you've heard me talk about sales as a sacred experience with my clients. I have a podcast episode. We'll put that episode in the show notes about my sacred sales conversation process. But when you are in this place where you are believing in your wholeness and your client's wholeness, and each one of you is a beautiful, complete human being, and you learn how to sell and you clear any subconscious resistance to money, asking for money and receiving money and having money, you really stop this underselling, under-earning cycle, and you just show up more. And you can really shine your light and be in your brilliance and touch more lives and have a bigger impact in the world. Let's talk about the overselling cycle because this is how you're going to do it. Number one, and I just mentioned this, we also have 7 points here. Hopefully I'm not going to lose count. Point number one is that you believe that you are a whole human being created in the image of God, and your client is a complete, whole, perfect human being. I know that when somebody is on the other end of a sales conversation, they have something, a problem that they want to fix, or an aspiration, a desire that they want to actualize in the world. But that doesn't mean they're not perfectly complete and whole as they are right now. So believe in you and believe in them and believe that you are both equally worthy. Number two is sell with courage, sell with confidence, find your grounded, solid energy, not shy, not reserved, but really you show up solid that you know that you can help this person who is on the sales conversation and has shown up to work with you. And just own that. You get to own who you are and what you bring to the world and just sit in that very solidly. Number three is stay out of their wallet. Don't make any assumptions about who they are, the neighborhood they live in, the car they drive, how much money you think they might have. I have to tell you, we're always wrong. We think somebody who lives in a fancy neighborhood has a lot of money. Maybe they do. I don't know. But sometimes they have a lot of money drama. And then there's the person who is just quiet and isn't showy or flashy, or maybe they just have a low income job and they do have the money to pay you. We almost always get it wrong. So no assumptions about your potential clients. Stay out of their wallet and you just show up in their service. Number four is that the overselling cycle is you selling to the people who are in your orbit today and the people who are going to want to work with you next year. You keep selling for all the people whenever they want to buy from you. Let's go back to the Super Bowl example. If there's a car company that is doing a 30-second commercial during the Super Bowl. Not everybody wants to buy a new car this year. They might buy it next year or the year after or in 3 or in 5 years from now. But the automobile companies keep showing up and they keep staying alive in your mind, right? They just keep reminding you again and again and again that they exist, that they're in the world. And when you're ready to buy your car, you're going to remember that you just saw those commercials and you're going to connect with them. So you also sell to the people that are going to work with you in a year from now and in 2 years from now and even in 3 years from now. And then when you show up to your sales conversations, you are in control. You're the business owner. You're the leader. You're the one who's going to guide the sales conversation. Don't let the person on the other end of the line like meander all over the place. There is a process and a path to guide someone through in the sales conversation, and I work on it with my clients in the Wired for Wealth group coaching program that I mentioned before. I have my sacred sales conversation process, and we want to make sure to just stay moving the client along the process for them, for their results, for their transformation. And this isn't a sleazy, manipulative process. It's sacred. It is a sacred encounter between you and your people. And when you're in the overselling cycle, you receive more money. You hold on to more money because when you're not saving your money, you get like hustly, and that again is a bad vibe or, bad energy, but then you can create generational wealth. And then you will also be building your beautiful business. It can be a 6-figure business, a multi-6-figure business, a 7-figure business. But as the sales come in consistently and you're working with more people and scaling your business, you get to create this beautiful, delicious business in the world. Being in the overselling cycle is generating wealth and profits and money for you and your family, your employees, because then you're going to be able to hire people, contracted workers or full-time, part-time employees in your business and pay them as well. And it's just a beautiful cycle, a beautiful gift that keeps on giving. You impact the lives of your clients. You receive money that impacts your life, your families. You bring workers into your business and you get to pass money on to them. You're just a conduit for money to move to you and to move through you to impact other people's lives. And you get to pay other people. And that is such a beautiful thing. When you show up in courageous, confident energy around your sales, you have an offer, you love your offer, and you show up and you sell it with confidence. You ask for money and you receive money. You are in this beautiful overselling cycle that continues to impact lives today and generations in the future. That is what I have for you, my friends, today. Overcoming underselling. It's such an important thing for you to do as a business owner, for you and for your clients and for the generational wealth that you are going to build for your family and for future generations. And one final point before we close up, and that is when you're making more money, when you have more money, it also gives you more opportunity to give away more money. You get to be more charitable. You get to make more donations. There are just so many ways that when your business is thriving and growing, that you leave your footprint and your fingerprint and your money imprint in the world. You have just made a bigger impact. And that is what I want for you in your business and your beautiful gifts and genius that you have. So go out there, feel confident, and sell what you have to sell because your people are in the world. They want to pay you money. They want what you have to offer. All right, my friends, thank you so much for tuning into today's podcast. I look forward to seeing you next week. And before we close up, I want to remind you again that Wired for Wealth, my 9-month group coaching program for entrepreneurs, is now open for enrollment. It is 9 months so that we show up together on the 1st of May and we create together your signature offer. You know what you're going to go out into the world and sell for the next 9 months. You're going to be committed to your offer. You're going to learn how to master sales. My sales process, the Sacred Sales Conversation process, is creating sales mastery for you to show up and serve your people. And if you have any subconscious blocks to money or any nervous system wiring that is pushing away money, we're going to deal with that also in Wired for Wealth. And we're going to work on planning for profit in your business and managing money in your business. This program is very focused on your offer, your selling, managing money, and creating a CEO identity for you, that you're showing up in service of your people. You're going to manage your time. You're going to manage your financial books, and you are going to grow a beautiful company serving people in the world. Go to my sales page now, debbiesasson.com/wired-for-wealth, and complete your application today for the group coaching program. Applications for this round are open until Thursday, March 23rd. Thanks very much. I will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to Mastering Money in Midlife. If you want more information on Debbie Sasson or the resources from the podcast, visit masteringmoneyinmidlife.com.